Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nicu, your host, and into today's video we'll create one of the Google's website about stories. We will try to imitate as much as possible few parts of the website, and especially the phone that's pinned on the top when it scrolls, and then it slowly scales down, and we have this background turning black to the effect, and the one when it stops here, we stop pinning and it moves down. And the second part, or the we'll have a slider here again, it will pin to the top, we'll scroll, and when it's done we unpin it and scrolling back. So in our components we will create a new folder, one for the hero, and this folder will contain multiples of components. So for example, the main component with the index.js, a hero.collage GSAP, this one is also GSAP, a hero footer, come on, footer GSAP, new folder, a hero, oh come on, hero phone block GSAP, and a hero used by .jsx, as well as a style file. Index.js will have a React function that's gonna be called hero, and we import it for now the style.css. We'll have again React functions inside of each folder. Simple write React functions. I really love to work with them. Now we need to import them, all of them, in our hero component, main component. So I'll call it class name, I'll give it a class here, which is gonna be the hero container. And then we have the hero header. We now have a hero header, so hero header GSAP. Let's really fast create the component, hero header, cool. And we have here the another element for the hero media, so hero media, which is gonna have the hero large and the hero tone black, and outside of this we'll have the hero used by, and oops, and the hero footer. Let's work first with the hero header. So the hero header will have will display an h1. We'll give it a class name for hero text section, and for the h1 I'll need it to pass an ID for now to have it for later. And let's import the hero here so we could have some feedback on the web. So hero import, and if we go back here we should have the stories with their widest audience displayed. Next let's go to the collage. So we'll have, as you saw in the beginning, we'll have 2 photos and 1 video on the left of the phone, and 2 photos and 1 video on the right of the phone. So I've got here the phone frame and the data. Let's see the data. Yeah, we've got the videos and the photos. All of them are taken from the Google Stories original website. And then we have some title and description for the slider that will make it later in this video. Coming back to the Hero Collage, let's see. We will need here, first of all, two components. One is function, video element. And this video element will get a source for the video. So it will return a div. And this div will have a class name to be hero element. And inside of it will have the video tag. And for the source, we'll have it a source. And that's pretty much it for the video element. We also need an image element, so function image element. So again, a source. It will return a div, which is again a class name to be a hero element. And the image will have the source to be source. And the class name to be collage element and a node for now to be empty. Cool. So we'll import first the photos from our data.js, and as I said, we will need to have actually two photos on the left and two photos on the right, and one video on the left and one video on the right. So const left images, we will slice the array of images into two, and const right images, these photos, slice to photos dot length. Oops, length. And we have here the left video and the right video to become from videos. Inside of our component, we'll give it a class name to the hero collage. Inside of it, we'll have two divs. One to be a class name of left column, and actually duplicate this and right here right columns. And then inside of each column we will iterate through left images map, and we will get this source and will return an image element with the source to be source. Yeah, and outside of this we'll have the video element to be source, and we'll actually copy this, we'll paste it here, and we'll change from left images to the right images. And here is left video and right video. Let's go back and see what we have here. So we've got the images, we've got the videos here, and all good and all right. Next, let's we have collage footer. Let's actually do the footer. So gonna be a class name with a hero text section. So the header and the footer will have basically the same style, h1. The font block, let's go and build the font block here. This is gonna be the most fun one to make. So class name to be hero font black, And inside of it we have a div element, and this is quite interesting because we will need to insert inside of this template a video. So this div will be the template, which will render the class. Well, let's give it first a class. So hero phone template, and the source, no, actually style, be background image, which should be an URL is image source, and this image source is port image source from our assets one. So yeah, and inside of this element we'll have again a video tag, which will give it the class name to be again a collage element, collage, and the source to be video URL. So the video URL will be actually a string column one. So if we refresh here, we should see the let's see, thing here. Yeah, the video, this is one is the video. Yeah, video, and on the left it's is the template. So hero container, yeah. Let's go with first the text sections. So section, we'll give it a max width to be around 10.5 ems. Width, we'll calculate 100% minus 32 pixels. We need to give it some margins. Margin to be 0 auto, to center horizontally, padding bottom and 300 pixels, padding top 300 pixels, text line be center, font size to be 4 viewports width, font weight to be around 600, and for the H1 we will need to display inline block. Save and coming back, yeah, we have our nice header and yeah, hero footer and header. Next we will need to style the hero collage. So hero collage will be a grid, and we will place the left element and the right element on this grid, and then with position absolute to the font block we will kind of center it in the center. So this way we won't affect the layout of others elements when we have the animation happen on scroll. So the hero collage will have a display grid and the grid template columns to be 35% one FR and 35%. So the middle column will take the left space, a max width of 95%. We still need a little bit of on the left and on the right, and we will center it, and the margin bottom 10 viewport height. We should have here, well, we don't see anything else, but still But if we go here, Hero Collage, interesting. Oh, it's because it's inside here, so yeah, we see some space on the left, and Hero Container, Hero Collage. So template column, template column, yes, columns. Yeah, so we have some grid elements placed, and then we will place them one by one. So left column and the right column, and for the left column we'll say that grid area is, we start from row 1, column 1, we span one column and span one row and span one column, and with the hero element. So we'll trigger the first and the last element with the first child and last child, and the middle element will be triggered by this. So starts 1, 2 column, then 5, then 1, and first child and last child. So for the first child we have the grid area B1, oh, actually 2, we start from 2, first, then 5, then 1, and for the last child we have grid area B2, 3, then 6, then 1. Let's see, we got something. Oh, well, we kind of got, yeah, but we'll need to work on the element themselves. Let's post the right columns. So let's copy this, paste, and the right column starts 1, 1, 3, then 1, 1. Hero element we have 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 1, 5, 1, and 2, 3, 6, and 1. It's basically the same. And inside of the left and right container or column we'll have another grid element, so we could position the elements inside. So left column and right column, we have a display to be grid template columns to have 3 of them, grid template rows, repeat 6, 1. That's why we get the 6 amount here. The column gap should be around 20 pixels, and the height should be 400 pixels. Yeah. Cool. We still have some things to do. Let's style the hero element. So hero element, we have overflow hidden, for the radius to be around 20 pixels. For the video and the image, we'll have an object fit to be cover, width of 100% and height of 100% of the parent. Yeah, cool. We now have our element, hero, phone, black. We give it a position absolute. width about 364 pixels, height to be around 650 pixels, top 0, left be 50%, then we'll translate x to be -40%, and then we will scale it up a little bit to be 1.5. Hero font template, background position be center, background size be 100%, background repeat be no repeat, width 100, height 100, video position absolute, width 64%, height be auto, a top to be around 5%, a left to be around 9%. So what we do now is we we place the video inside of our font template, and border radius be 20 pixels, and the overflow hidden. I think yeah we have something, but we should be able to see the phone not going that much up. We should add hero media, which is around position relative. If we save, yeah, really, the height to be around 74 pixels. Still, oh, weird, very weird. Maybe because, oh yeah, amazing, actually amazing. Let's before we start digging into animations, let's go and fill up the used by. We forgot about it. So class name hero used by, yeah. Another element, class name to be hero used by copy. Inside of it will have a paragraph. Then we'll have here we'll have here another element, which is a class name hero used by logos, paragraph of making an impact ad, and here, yeah, let's go and style this really quick. So hero used by the display flex. We want them to be have a space between, so to push them on the left and on the right, space between. A margin top to be around 2, 3, 4 pixels. Padding top again at 2, 3, 4 pixels. Margin bottom to be around 300 pixels. Margin left auto, margin right auto, max width 1304 pixels, width to be, again we calculate -48 pixels, position relative bulk, a color to be white, and for the hero used by copy hero, well, we have a margin bottom 0, padding left 52 pixels, width be around 390 pixels, font size 20 pixels, font weight 400, and line height be 1.4. Let's refresh. Yeah, so the text is here, but because let's really fast black. Let's put it black. Let's move on and create the scroll trigger effect. The scroll trigger effect will be created with the help of GSAP Scroll Trigger plugin. So we will install npm GSAP. And installing, and first we will animate the here we'll animate the collage to translate to the top when we enter. So the first thing is to register the scroll trigger. So import GSAP from GSAP, all this, and import scroll trigger from GSAP scroll trigger. And in a one use effect, when we when it mounts, we register the plugin scroll trigger. Back to the collage, we'll need to import GSAP from GSAP, and here in an use effect, let's clean this up. We will create a timeline, so a const timeline, a GSAP timeline actually, timeline, and it will have a delay of 0.5 because we have the loader, and effect. We forgot here. Oh, ported. So we get the timeline, and then we tell that timeline from and to. So we will animate from some values to some values. Yeah. Attribute of the function is the element we want to animate. So hero element, all of them actually. We take all of them, and we set the initial values. So the Y transform is 300 pixels, and then we put it back to 1 to 0 actually. And let's use the animation. So the animation will take 1 second, and let's see. Yeah, yep, but we need them to move like in a sequence. So there is here another property, a delay, and it can take a function, and this function we have access to the index of how many hero elements were found. We will return this very small delay between elements. Oh. X, yeah. Save. If we save, yep. Now let's go and animate the header again. Header. Let's import the GSAP from GSAP and use effect. Why it's not importing? Oh, yeah. Let's remove this, and we will have a GSAP from 2 and we will get this element, so hero text from opacity of 0 to opacity 1, duration 0.5 and delay 0.2. So we've got these great animations. Use ref, chook, up, chook, up, chook, yeah. So phone ref, and the initial value will be null, and let's pass it here, phone ref, and we'll create and use effect. Let's create one of these as well, so we don't need the cleanup, we need to be only on mount. We will create few well, actually the phone will have few stages of some stages. One will be to the first or the intro, where it will slide in the beginning up, and then while we scroll we'll have this stop trigger, and next it will scale down, and then we'll have the stop trigger. Yep. So we'll have inside here some functions. So the function of stop trigger, and here we'll create a conster GSAP timeline. We will add the functions to the timelines, so we can merge them with the help of this small function. So intro and master add stop trigger. So let's create here a timeline, so GSAP timeline, and we'll animate the phone from to phone ref.current from y 200 to y 0 with a duration of 1. Let's save, and moving back. Oops, it's not defined, yeah, because we need to add port GSAP from up. Have some room here. Stop trigger is not defined. Let's stop trigger, yeah. Yep. So up. One more time. Up. Yep. Now let's create the stop trigger timeline. So the stop trigger will have here a const timeline, which is a GSAP timeline, but this time we'll have it different. So when we will have a delay of 1, and the timeline has a property scroll trigger, and it will need to pass the element of phone ref.current, and we need to tell it when it should start. So start, and the first value it takes the position of the element, for example here, and the second value in the string it takes the position in the viewport. So we want to start the scroll trigger when the phone hits the top of the viewport. So top, and we want it to run for about 1000 pixels. It counts how much pixels we scrolled, and when it hits those 1000, it will stop the scroll trigger. And we'll need it to place it the pin. So we pin it to the scroll, moves down, and this scrub be true. True? Yeah. Let's see what happens. Need to return, like here as well, we need to return timeline, and here we return timeline. See, one more refresh. Scroll is scroll. Oops. Yeah, I know what's the problem here. We scroll and the scroll, it moves, and when it hits about 1000 pixels, yeah, it stops scrolling. So that's quite amazing and easy to be done. We've got here a small problem. We need to delay the adding of the stop trigger to the timeline, because we see this trigger when we scroll it a little bit. Hop. Yep. So for the first one, it needs to finish the intro, and then we add our another timeline. So for about 1000 milliseconds. So 1 second. Stops. Scroll. Yeah. Yep. Now it's working. Next we'll need to scale down the phone while it scrolls, and to animate the background here to be black. So next is in this timeline as well, timeline 2, phone current. So we need to scale from to 1.2 twin, so with about 0.2% over time. So if we scroll here, yeah, we have this. And we need to animate the background, so TL2 hero container. We will animate background color black, duration to be about 0.25, and it should start when the position in the scroll is about halfway done. So So yeah, this actually is not the timing, but it's when it should start. So when 20% of what's between start and end reaches, we scale it to 1.2. And we need to block as a string. Yeah, a string. We refresh when we wait. We scroll, we have the black. Yeah, we will later we'll turn it back to white. Let's go and change this to white and refresh. So we have the phone, the background changes color, and we have the text. We'll refresh one more time. We have the stories, opacity, we have the elements. Coming back up, we have the initial animation on the phone, and then when we scroll and the phone hits the top of the viewport, we get the scroll trigger, and the phone follows the scroll down until it reaches 20% of the distance. And then it starts another animation in the timeline, which is the scale, and then when it reaches the around 50%, we change the background to black. Cool. That's part one of this huge video. Next we'll work on the slider, and I hope you enjoyed this part one. I see you to the next one.